Alright, we're going to be dedicating this video to one actual deck profile. This is from Nick Truden, and he got 23rd place out of 520 at the Brooklyn Regional this past weekend. So, good job out in fucking New York, fucking doing your best with Paleo Dinosaur, which, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I didn't actually think we would see this, because right now with current Dinosaurs, we've been on the mentality of you need to play double evolution pill. If you're not playing double evolution pill, there is something wrong. Like you're not doing Dinosaurs right. And that's kind of the thing that we've seen. But this deck challenges that mentality and brings back Lost World with Survival's End, which is absolutely astonishing. Like, I am actually pretty pleased to get the chance to talk about this. So, congratulations, Nick, on 23rd place. I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to see progress being made. So, let's kind of dig on in and talk about this. So, we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom. His hand trap ratios are pretty interesting. I will say that. I do think that when he built this, he tried to curve certain matchups as much as he could, which actually it looks like it worked pretty well in terms of that. We have 2 copies of Baby Ceratosaurus, destroyed by card effects into the graveyard, especially when level 4 or lower dinosaur from the deck. We go get our little boy Oviraptor, do some shenanigans, pretty standard. 1 copy of Pringatops in the main. Honestly, without double evolution pill, this card, it's still good, don't get me wrong, but it's not that amazing. So I do think that's one thing that I want to point out in general is while this card is still inherently broken, your numbers and viability are up to you. 1 copy of Doggeron, Standard Dinosaur Kaiju. 2 copies of Ghost Ogre. Like I said, hand trap ratios are a bit interesting with 2 Ogre, 2 Ash. 1 copy of the Giant Rex. Obviously, you play this because standard Rex plays. And of course, we have the 1 copy of Miscellaneous Ceratosaurus, Standard Banish, Special Summon. It's everything that we could actually ever want, plus protection for the turn. Now, we also have the 1 copy of Pterodon. If this card is destroyed by card effect instead of the graveyard, special summon a level 4 or higher dinosaur monster from your attack, but it cannot declare an attack this turn. So, yes, while you do get the ability to special summon something larger, it is in fact limited in what it can do. Of course, we have the triple copies of Oviraptor. As I said, like on normal or special summon, get the ability to add or send to the graveyard. This card is still one of the best cards the dinosaur has. I'm still glad that they limited Miscellaneous, but still fantastic for the archetype. We have 2 boss monsters, which are the ultimate conductors. Getting the ability to flip down an entire board depending on what your opponent is doing is fantastic. Great options to the deck. Then we have the 1 Megalomasher. So, just standard 2000 beat stick. Nothing else too explanatory here. Then we have triple copies of Fossil Dig to tutor for any dinosaur that we want in our deck. Now, this is where things get good. Lost World. All monsters on the field lose 500 attack and defense except for dinosaur monsters. Once per turn, if a dinosaur normal or monster is normal or special summoned, except during damage step, you can special summon 1 Dirac Egg token to your opponent's field. And then while your opponent controls the token, they cannot target monsters on the field with card effects except for tokens. And once per turn, if a normal monster on the field will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy that many dinosaur monsters from your hand or deck instead. So if you get Megalo on the field, you can destroy these guys, and then of course they'll trigger bringing out more allies, which is so good. But the cool thing about this card is it does protect your normals. That token that you give your opponent, you literally prevent Sky Strikers from doing anything. It's a strange place, I know. Now, we do play triple copies of Pot of Extravaganza. My first initial reaction to this was, wow, that's actually interesting. We're actually playing Pot in this deck. And while this might look bad, I believe that this actually works out a lot better in this deck than we actually give this credit for. I actually think draw power to this scale is fan-fucking-tastic. Like, I do think you need to play this. Because Almost Desires is a little bit too detrimental. Shaving off 10 from the deck, meanwhile, you don't really give too much of a fuck about your extra deck. I mean, you do care, but you don't care. Does that make sense? You do have options, and I do think exploring those, just test them. We have 2 copies of Terraforming to search for said field spell. Now, we are playing Paleo, and I was showing this deck to one of my friends talking about them with it, and they were like, oh yeah, it seems like a Duel Links deck with just better Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I was like, oh wow, you're actually kind of right. It does seem that way, jokingly. So we have triple copies of Candida, just general disruptor. Card is fantastic, actually. Book of Moon-esque effects are so good. Morella getting the free dump from the deck, set up more trap cards so that you can set up more monsters on the field. It's actually really good. Triple copies of Olenoides getting that MST effect. So fucking good. Now this is where things get interesting. So this is Survival's End. Destroy as many normal monsters on the field as possible. And if you do, special summon level 4 lower dinosaur monsters from your deck up to the number destroyed, but destroy them during the end phase. You can banish this card from your graveyard to target one dinosaur monster you control and one card your opponent controls and destroy them. You can actually use that effect in the same turn that it's sent to the graveyard. Unlike current card effects where, you know, we're limited in our clause of not being able to use them in the same turn. So I do like this a lot. Definitely just, this card's amazing. Like, why hasn't Dinosaur explored this before? And then we have triple copies of Trap Trick wrapping up the main deck. But this looks very solid, right, in terms of design. Like, I actually really like this. Now, the extra deck is interesting. You can adjust as you need if you want to test this, but we have one Underclock Taker, one Pentastag, we have one copy of Land Phonicus, one copy of Nightmare Phoenix, one copy of Decode Talker, one Tornado Dragon, one Opabinia, one copy of Ragna Zero, one for one, or 101. We have two Logia, two Dolka, two Exciton Knight, and one Abyss Dweller. One thing I do want to point out about this deck, though, is no Totally Awesome in the extra deck. You might have been something that you might have wanted to include. He definitely proved that you don't need it. Also, Pentastag. This is interesting. But overall, like, the extra deck doesn't really look like it matters all that much in terms of this deck's design. And inside deck here with triple Lancia, one Scythe, one Prankatops, two copies of Effect Veiler, two copies of Gamma Seal, two copies of Twin Twister, triple copies of Artifact Sanctum, and one copy of Imperial Order. This is really good. I actually really like the Innovation Madness. So Nick actually sent in a little report for this as well. So, round one, I played against Sky Striker 2-0. He said game one, I had set a bunch of back row, one being Survival End. He goes to Hornet Drones. I flip Survival's End. Game two, he goes first, opens the standard board, and then I Gamma Sealed and did the free dinosaur combos. That's actually pretty solid. Round two, it was against Solid. He won 2-0. He starts, I Ash the Rhoda, and he makes Sunlight Wolf and sets 2. I open Lost Word Nova Raptor, play through some back row, had Canadia for the following turn, set, and proceed to win. Game 2, I open Twin and Survival End and Baby Dino and tear through his board going second. That's actually disgusting. So what I've gotten from this deck is, like, you just smash through boards. Round 3 was against Altergeist. He won 2-0. This is normally a hard matchup for dinos. He sets 2 and passes. I draw and set some back row and activate Lost World and pass. I flip up Morella and standby. He flips up the trap that shuffles an Altergeist back. I flip Olenoides to kill it, and then he flips another one, and I chain the Paleo and Graveyard. He makes the mistake of attacking into the Paleo, and I saw it with Lost World to pop a baby. Game 2, he makes me start. I summon Megalomasher with Survivor's End and Morella, which is very strong in that matchup. That's actually disgusting. Round 4 was against Solid. I went first and opened Candidia to stop the normal summon. Game 2, he bricks really hard. He was a nice guy. Well, that's good to know, Nick. Alright, round 5 was against Strike Striker. He won 2-0. Had 2 Olenoides and Ogre in the opening hand to keep multi-roll off the board, and had Survival's End to pop the rest of his board. Game 2, I Ash the Engage, and he makes a subpar board, and then I proceed to do Prankatops Control with Overraptor, and reviving in the same one a few turns over and win. God, we're fucking trucking along here. Round 6 was against Sky Striker, a very nice guy, and my first game loss of the day. I open Logia set 2, and he bricks. Game 2, he desires and grew more advantage than I could. In Game 3, he opened Order. Ugh. I guess Imperial Order does kind of hurt this deck. Round 7 was against Sky Striker. He drew. Game 1, I set 5 and blow him out on the following turn. Game 2, he was reading my cards a lot, and he was gaining a lot of advantage, so I scooped. Game 3, time was called on his turn, and I kept kind of off the board so he couldn't gain life, so we drew. Round 8 was against Solid. This guy won the regional and was a good guy overall. Game 1, I opened all monsters, and he gets his engine going. I eventually get access to Tyranno and clear his board, but he had too many extenders, and I was out of fuel. Game 2, I had full control of the game, and opened Lost World, Logia, Candina. Why? This card is so good from my understanding. Game 3, it was all fought well, but he opened Dweller, and he strikes my Brinkatop, so it's all downhill from there. Ugh. Round 9 was against Danger Thunder. I hate Colossus. I opened subpar and couldn't crack the Thunder Dragon board. Curtain search for Tyranno. Game 2, I stalled game, made 101 to take Colossus. I then topped into Tyranno and cleared the board easy peasy. Game 3, I opened Lance. And then he got Colossus on the board, and I had no way out it. He then drops Fire and Fury on me next turn, notifies me. Ugh. Alright, we have a round 10 here, actually. So round 10 was 2-1. I was exhausted at this point. I win game 1. He wins game 2 because I bricked. Game 3, open Megalo, Masher, Candina, Lost World, and Survival. I book the normal summon spinning. He passes. I then attack over spinning, flip Survival's End, chain Paleo in the graveyard, and save all the normals besides the tokens on the board with Survivor End for massive damage. I then make Lamphonicus, Ragna Zero, and Opabinia under it to search for more Candidas and pop his normal summons on the next turn. Overall, he finished 7 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses with a deck I put a lot of time into. I've been playing this since July 2018 with the release of Extravaganza, Trap Trick, and Pregatops. It really helps the deck out. Big shout out to his teammate Joey, who lent him Trap Tricks, Ashes, and Extravaganza. And shout outs to Bulletproof Comics, who hosted the event. Shout outs to Team Savage from Brooklyn. And I actually hope you guys really enjoyed the unique strategy for this from Nick. So please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think about the deck. And well, guys, I'm out. Hope you enjoyed. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.